Hi, so I just came back from a weekend in San Diego. I was attending the California Democratic board meetings, and I learned a lot. And we all want to help with no DAPL, getting money out of politics. And what's happening with the North Dakota Access Pipeline is horrifying. And we feel so powerless because the media does not pay any attention to it. And we're trying to face it, share it on Facebook, but it can only do so much. And as horrible as it is, what can we do? What we have to do is, because as I listened to the California Democratic Party board meetings, all they talk about is the fear of Trump. This is the Kool-Aid that they give to the masses, and everybody just eats it up. They just live in this fear module. They have no space or capacity to think about the issues like no DAPL. So in order to affect change, we have to organize the masses. We have to bring all people together. But how can we bring all people together if they're all drinking the Kool-Aid? If we want to create change, we have to bring people together, but we have to combat the narrative of fear. Why does the fear of Trump work? Because we need somebody. It's so much easier to blame somebody else for our feelings, for our self-hatred of feeling not enough. And that's why I say that, people think that Hillary Clinton lost the presidential election. The Democratic Party failed. They lost the election. That is completely wrong. They won the election because their presidential nominee was the fear of Trump, and they won by a landslide. I know that you see these news of white nationalism and the fear of racism, and it sounds really bad. For one, I believe that the establishment purposely injects this so we feed into the fear to distract us from the issues. But what was I going to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But we're so attached to this fear because it allows us to escape from our own feelings of self-hatred, from our own darkness. We want to blame somebody else. But the truth is that hatred, that darkness is actually your beauty. It's your light that is your greatest fear. It's your beauty that you're running away from. The way that you view Trump and his supporters is the way that you view your own beauty. You hate yourself so much that you're running away from it. And we all do this. Me doing this video, this live video, and just bearing my soul, it scares the shit out of me. I'm so scared that I'm gonna make a mistake, seem like a failure, but I'm distracting myself. I'm projecting my own self-worth and my own self-hatred onto, whatever, my performance or what I do. So we all are guilty of it. And that is how the establishment controls all of us. Don't even give a second to this Donald Trump thing. It's all a distraction. The whole purpose of it, the entire purpose of it, is to hide the corruption, to hide the money that they're taking on. It's all about the money. They don't care about the racism of skin color. They don't care about xenophobia or homophobia. They love it because they use that to make you believe yet you are a victim. That's all they talked about at the caucus meeting, the Democratic caucus meetings. Hillary Clinton may have lost, but now you have 1,000 Democratic candidates who all are like Hillary Clinton, running on the same platform, the fear of Trump, the fear of self-victimization. And you are focusing on how racist and the oppression that you will face from a Donald Trump presidency. But what they are feeding to you is that you are a powerless, worthless, and helpless victim. There's nothing more oppressive than that, than telling you that you're worthless. Not only that, what is crazy is that they view the Republicans as evil. They view Donald Trump and his deplorables as evil. Racism, hatred, and bigotry. But what they do is they use hate to defeat hate. They use racism to defeat racism. They use bigotry to defeat bigotry. How is that possible? I'll give you an example. One of the Democratic candidates that I met at the meetings, he had his flyer and it said, "I will kick out all the Republicans out of California." Now, that is racist. And you may think, like, really? Think about it. If I replace the word Republicans, excuse my language, with the word niggers, you will see how racist it is. I will kick out all the niggers out of California. Do you see how demonizing it is? How can you defeat racism if you are being racist yourself? And with that candidate, I was having that conversation. There was another Democrat, and he saw that, and he was being, more nice about it. He said, kick out, that's a little bit aggressive. More like convert. Even convert is, think about it. If you change the word, it is racist, or what I say is homophobic. Because if you change the word Republicans, and you say, we will convert the gays into heterosexuals. Do you see this mindset? How can you defeat hate with hate? And that is the whole hypocrisy of that all. You think about it. Stronger together. It is a divisive slogan. Stronger together does not mean Republicans, does not mean the deplorables. It means stronger together of the Democratic Party. Uniting the party. And that is racist. Think about it again. You have to switch the words. If the Democratic Party was made of all white people, and then they said, we are stronger together. We must unite the white people. That sounds pretty racist. So you see the hypocrisy of this all. So they are demonizing. You can't demonize all Republicans. You can't demonize all Donald Trump supporters. Because I have close family and friends that have voted for Donald Trump, and they're not racist, they're not homophobic, they're not bigoted. So you are being racist by demonizing all of them. And that's all I heard at the meetings, how evil they all are. You gotta be kidding me. But let's bring it back home. Why do we do this? Because we want to run away from our own pain, that we're not good enough, and we want to project the blame onto somebody else. And it works. It works so much. But think about it. If somebody calls me a gook, a chink, who really cares? All this talk about this fear of racism, what is that going to do? Stop living in fear. Stop thinking about all day long about the fear of Trump, of racism. Like, oh my God, it's the end of the world and it's Hitler. How can you live life like that? Live life with a sense of purpose. Think about what this means. Everything is solved through love, through working together. I don't do what I do because I'm scared. One thing I learned when the Bernie Sanders campaign, when he was running for president, when he came to California, it woke me up. It woke me up to the core. I learned for the first time what it meant to be a member of humanity. Because by working and fighting together and with each other, that is what it meant. That's what I learned, what it meant to be human. And that's what the movement is all about. That's what humanity is all about, is working together in the name of love. Not working together to stop fear, to stop hate, and just, it's really self-centered if you think about it, you know? They're only thinking about themselves. Because I went to the Middle Eastern caucus, I went to the LGBT caucus, and they all focused on them. It's like, oh, your rights, your livelihood is going to be taken away. Your identity is going to be taken away. And it's just about them. While there's issues with the North Dakota Access Pipeline, where there's issues with single-payer health care, whether there's issues with money in politics, let's focus on what's happening right now. Let's focus on the inequality and the injustice right now, not talking about what may happen. And so that's why I feel that Hillary Clinton, the establishment, they have infiltrated the movement. The movement was about causes that united us all for the sake of in serving and protecting humanity. Right now, they have infiltrated the movement and then made it about oneself and one's fears and completely playing the victim card, adopting the victim mentality. That will destroy the movement, because a victim mentality is all about the fear of feeling powerless, helpless, and worthless. You lose every time. You lose every time. This is not about skin color. This is not about identity. The establishment, all they care about is money. They use these fears of racism, misogyny, xenophobia. They use that. So you feel victimized. So all you can think about is like, wow, they're taking away my worth away. Nobody can take your worth away. And they do all of that so you don't see the issues. Like that girl at the North Dakota Access Pipeline, and her arm had to be amputated. Why don't they talk about that? Why doesn't the Democratic Party talk about that? Because it's all about the money. That's all they care about. This white nationalism, I'm pretty sure they put this up there. That's why George Soros funded the Trump these anti-Trump rallies. And then you want to know my real view about like anti-Trump rallies? They're really victim rallies. They're teaching us to self-victimize ourselves, to give our power away, to say that we don't have accountability for our lives. We don't have the accountability to write our destiny. Somebody else can take that away from us. Nobody can take that away from you. This whole focus and fixation on Trump is fixating on the projection of your self-hatred. And I was at the weekend at the California Democratic board meetings. I was waiting in line for a meeting, and I saw this lady behind me and says nasty women vote, and it just, you know what that is about? That is trying to defeat the projection of your self-hatred in Trump. You're trying, it makes it easier. That's the illusion the ego gives you. It's an illusion to say, hey, I want to project the blame of my self-hatred onto somebody else, and I'm going to defeat that. And there's no way you're going to lose every single time. Because if you project self-hatred, you admit that you are worthless. You admit that you are powerless. So you lose right away. That is what the fight of good and evil is all about. You watch movies, they say the same thing. It's all about the fight of good versus evil. Same thing with the slogan of love trumps hate. It's about the fight against good and evil. You want to know what the fight between good and evil is all about? It's about fighting the projection of your self-hatred in evil. It is a way to escape from our own self-hatred and to project it and to blame it on somebody else. And then try to defeat that projection of our self-hatred, to defeat the self-hatred we have from within. Oh, you're going to lose every single time. And like I said before, that pain and that hatred, that darkness that we are running away from, it is our beauty. It is our light. So that hatred, that discomfort that you feel, just don't run away from it. Embrace it. Embody it. Let that be the driving force in your life, because it really is your beauty. I get it. I do this all the time. You know, it scared me to do this live video and to bare my soul. So I just watched a bunch of TV because it just scared me. It scared me. And it's not, we think it's failure that scares us. It's not failure that scares us. It is our own beauty. It is our own light that scares us. So you can't defeat the darkness that what you feel is darkness inside of you. You can't defeat that. You can't. It's impossible, because that darkness is your light. You don't want to defeat it. You want to embrace it. You want to let it be the driving force of your life, of your every moment. We have it all backwards. We're trying to run away from it. We're trying to distract ourselves from it. We're trying to project it onto Republicans, project it onto Trump. Don't be fooled by the establishment. See, the establishment is the exact mirror reflection of the ego inside. We have to fight the establishment of our world and the same establishment inside. And if you want to defeat the establishment, if you want to overcome it, you have the key to it, the true key to it. If you learn how to overcome the establishment from within, you will know every single way to defeat the establishment that is controlling the media, that is creating all this inequality, that is distracting us and brainwashing us so we don't see what's happening in the North Dakota Access Pipeline. I care so much about that. But I'm telling you, it's not going to work if we just, it's great that everybody's protesting. We're doing all that we can. But if we do not combat the narrative, if we do not combat the Kool-Aid that they feed to the masses, we're never going to fix it. We're never ever going to be able to create change. They're just feeding this 24/7, this Kool-Aid of fear. That's their entire platform. They wanted Hillary Clinton to lose. They selected Donald Trump because it's the perfect distraction to their corruption. So, thank you for everyone for tuning in. I've decided to create kind of like a show and a platform, and it's called Michael for Humanity. So I'm really going to push this through. I really want to share my voice, my purpose, and to express my soul. And I encourage you all to do the same. It's a scary thing. It's such a scary thing because we're so scared of our own purpose. We're so scared of our own beauty and of our own greatness. But it's when you do that, that's when you change the world. That's when you feel peace. You finally feel the peace from within. It's not an easy thing to do because we want to do what other people are doing and to express our soul. Only we can do that, and there's no template for that. Nobody can do that. Nobody has ever done that other than other than what you can do. You can't copy anybody else. There's only one of you in this world. But I promise you, if you do that, you'll shake the whole world up. At the California Democratic Progressive Caucus, Nina Turner spoke, and it was just amazing. It was so amazing. But what she does, she expresses her soul. It's not that her soul is better than ours, but she expresses it. And if you express your soul, you're going to change. You're going to shake up the world. Don't live in fear of Trump. That's not expressing your soul. That's abandoning your soul. How can everybody just be focused on Trump? Like, what else? Is that your only contribution to this world? Think about it. You have a specific purpose. You have a gift. You have a reason why you are here. Don't buy into the Kool-Aid of fear that the establishment gives, that the establishment of the ego gives you as well. Embrace that fire. That's what you're all about. So yeah, also another announcement. I'm going to run. I'm really happy about this. I'm going to run as an assembly district delegate. The elections will be in January. I met with a lot of Bernie delegates, and I'm really excited about that. I want to run for office, and yes, I'm going to run for other offices as well. It has to be this way. I know that I'm meant to spread this message. And yes, we can talk about the logistics of politics, of how it works, but the one thing that controls it all, the one thing that the establishment uses to control the masses, literally, like, it kills everything that we try to do. They use fear. They use the victim mentality. But fear is what we do when we run away from our beauty. Fear is what we do when we follow and want to defeat our self-hatred. So that's the thing that I want to spread in this political world, because that is their stranglehold on everything that we do. So thank you for tuning in. There's more to come.